Om Shanti, thank you very much, both Eric Bhai. That was a wonderful scene in drama, and thank you for filling in. So, welcome to the happy world of Avyakti Children, Season 3, Day 16. And we'd like to welcome today our two little angels, Sister Vrinda and Sister Mishri, and their mother and grandmother. So, welcome, whole lovely family.
Hello, everyone. Om Shanti. This is the beauty of Parivar, right? To unite everyone such a beautiful way, Moini Didi. So nice to be able to be together.
Om Shanti.
Shanti. Om Shanti Mohini Diti. Om Shanti to both Brother Eric. Om Shanti Vyakti Parivar. My name is Vrinda and this is my grandmother, Tanmishtaban. Om Shanti to both Brother Eric. Om Shanti Mohini Diti. Om Shanti Avyakti Parivar. This is my mother, Hinali.
And what was your name?
Mishri.
Great. Lovely to see all of you. Lovely to be a part. What do you enjoy most about the Parivar, and what have you learned that you share with others in school or wherever you go?
I have spread knowledge to children in my school and my classroom, and I spread purity, and I teach them a lot about Baba. Thank you for giving this opportunity, for helping me answer these questions. May I start with my questions?
If you have questions, Eric and all of us would be happy to give the guidance we received from Mohini Didi.
My first question is, there is a lot of activities, fights, and distractions in school. So how can we still be connected to Baba even when there's a lot of distractions going around in school?
What distractions distract you?
Like probably are people fighting if they're being too loud and not letting me concentrate.
What works for me is when there are other things going on, is to see them and recognize, is this important for me to observe and participate in? Yes or no? And typically the answer is no. And so bring my attention back to what I need to. This is Robin's kingdom. Lots of things are going to be happening, and lots of things that aren't what we would want. What we want is going to come soon in the golden age. And so recognizing that there's a lot of individuals that are influenced by all those things that Baba just told us we shouldn't be. The worry, the fear, the upset, things aren't going right for many people. So how can we be stable, not get pulled into that, and just have that remembrance, and also that remembrance is service. And so those were the 2 points that were highlighted today. You are the master of your thoughts. Choose to bring them back. Does that help?
Yes.
You can make, if there are distractions, the thought is also to make Baba my attraction number one. And the more there's attraction to Baba, the less anything else will be a distraction, because you have attraction, right? And my yukti, you know what I like to do, and I know we may not give answers as good as Moini Didi, but after going to France for 7 weeks, maybe I should go to trance now and pick Moini Didi's mind and bring it back. See if it works. Moini Didi, can I try to connect this way and see if I can transfer, if I can pick up Moini Didi's thoughts, I'll see if I can share with you. But the thought for me, what I really enjoy is, you're distracted because we are starting to look outside. But if I look inside, I create the image of Bab Dada with me. Literally, Brahma Baba is next to me with Shiv Baba, and I'm really enjoying to play with them. Sometimes he's put his hand on my shoulder. So if you're at school, you may imagine Bab Dada sitting next to you at your desk, and then you can have chit chat with him and say, oh, they're distracting me. What do you think? And then he would say, well, am I not attracting you? Don't you like my eyes? Don't you like my smile? Don't you like what I'm going to tell you now? So playing with Baba in a beautiful way, it becomes very attractive. And we cannot think of something else because Baba is too much attractive.
Thank
Thank you. You both brothers have explained very well.
Thank you. Phew, Eric, we passed. Number one
You did a
question.
great job.
How many questions like that? We passed number one. Thank you.
My second question is, how was your childhood in terms of spirituality, and what is one quality you would like to share?
Say the question again, please. What?
How was your childhood in terms of spirituality, and what is one quality you would like to share?
Our childhood, our spiritual childhood, or our childhood when I was a little kid, and was I spiritual?
When you were a little kid, and if you were spiritual.
Oh, I was not very, very spiritual when I was a little kid. You are very fortunate because your parents and your grandmother is there. And you know, when there's grandmother that can nurture your heart, it's like the whole world is connected to your heart. Grandmothers are grandmothers, you know, they're bigger mothers than other mothers, right? So they're like mothers of the world. So you're lucky you have both mother and grandmother giving you spiritual insight, spiritual sustenance. Personally, I didn't have that in my life. So my only spiritual awareness was the need for love. And I remember a very young age knowing that the world needs a lot of love and there's not enough love in the world. And I was feeling, where can I get love? Because there wasn't love, enough around me. I lost my mom very young. I wasn't not with my dad. And baguette is a nice bread, but it doesn't give love. So in France, I was not getting, chapati has more love, I think, than baguette, but I didn't get enough love. So my only spiritual awareness as a kid was knowing that one day I would find love. And that's what I found when I found Baba. What about you, Eric?
The question is something I don't get asked a lot, but it takes me back to a very profound moment. I grew up in a different tradition than the Brahma Kumaris. And one of the practices in that tradition, that religion, was something called confession. And in that, when I was young, wasn't a big sinner when I was 9 or whatever it was, maybe around your age. But we had to practice saying, oh, I've done this wrong and I've done this wrong. And then after you would say something like that, then they would say some prayers, say 3 Hail Marys, and your sins will be forgiven. And I remember believing in that and saying those prayers. And when I came out of the church, I remember not knowing how I reached the grounds. They had big steps. And it was as if I had flown because I wasn't aware of walking down. I was so elevated. It must have been that feeling of purity and the sense that there was a relationship with God. That seed was planted or watered or reawakened. And I think what I learned is that there are many souls who have the truth inside of them. And if they have the opportunity to have that refreshed, reawakened, watered, nurtured, that will blossom, that it's inside many souls. And so giving them the opportunity from, my Brahmin life on is to allow others to have a chance to understand the truth that's already carried within inside of them. One of the sayings that is there is, you can't create a Brahmin, And you can't stop a soul from becoming a Brahmin. It's just in their drama. So we can facilitate, we can help, we can reawaken, we can give them the drishti, however it's going to be. But that experience stayed with me up until now. It's, we all have something, and there are little bumps that push us in the right direction to get where we want to go. And that's what our service is. Not to convince someone and not to make them do something, but to be able to give them a little guidance on their journey.
Thank you. Thank you so much for answering my question.
You're very welcome.
Shanti, you answered Vrinda's question very beautiful. May I start? May I start with my questions?
We do.
How can Baba answer our questions to the Murli?
The question to the Murli or the question to?
How can Baba answer our questions in Murli?
In the Murli.
Murli. Murli.
So
Yeah.
if you have questions about what Baba is saying, how are those answered? Yeah, okay.
So actually your question is more, when you have questions, do you feel Baba is answering your questions when you read the Murli?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. What is very nice is when we have a question, is first to have the faith that Baba will answer my question somehow, one way or another. It may not be next day's Murli, although it could be. It might be a Murli during the week. So we have to be aware, that Baba will answer my question one way or another. It could be through a class from Moinididi sometimes, because Baba is Karan Karavanar, right? He can use any means he can to connect with us. So if you have a question, but you're not listening to Murli next day, which never happened, right? Because you never miss Murli. But if you don't listen carefully to the Murli, how is Baba going to reach you? So it's beautiful that we have faith first, that Baba will answer my question, no doubt. And then we become very eager to find out. Oh, it's like, treasure hunt. Do you know treasure hunt?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's the same. You want to find out the treasure. Baba has the answer. And you have to find, where is Baba going to hide the answer? Is it in a Murli? Is it in a class? Is it in my dream? Is it, in what I hear by talking to someone else? And then we search for answers from Baba in many ways. But yes, the Murli very often will respond very clearly to your point. One day I was having many years ago, I had a thought, Baba, what if I could find a good friend, you're bodiless, you don't have a body, you're busy, you're always busy around the world. I need someone to talk to all the time and to be a little bit more present. What about if I were to find a friend? The next day, and I'm sure this is true, the next day, the whole Murli was about, why would some people want anybody else as a friend except Baba? They must be full. Why would they look for someone else when God is right in front of them? The whole Murli, not one point, the whole Murli was about God is your friend, he's your best friend, you don't need anybody else. On that day, I thought, wow, that was direct answer. Like the next day, the whole Murli was about. So I never looked for another friend after that.
One of the experiences that I'm seeing now is that Baba knew that there were two of you, and so there had to be two of us to provide the answers. There's very much a principle in the world and in the Brahmin family that whatever you think about will appear. So if you have a question, write it down. And then you don't have to chant that or think about it. But if you have that thought, the answers come. And my experience is we do service programs and we have to come up with ideas for what the topic is going to be. What are we going to do next week? What are we going to do Thursday? What are we going to do Saturday? And it's like, okay, my turn is coming up. I have to do something. And if I listen with that question, what is my topic going to be? I'm inspired. Something happens. It's always like a minor miracle. Something happens and I get an inspiration or an answer. And it's like, oh, that's a good idea. And then I have a couple points and then I don't have to think about it. I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to, what's going to happen? What's this? I don't have thoughts. I don't have to tire myself out. But I just have to have that awareness, that question, and that has power to invoke answers. And if we have a spiritual question, the source for us is the Murli. And as Eric said, it might not be immediate, but if we're listening, we will get an answer somehow, some way, sometime. Samjha?
ठीक है.
Thank you, Om Shanti. Now my mom will ask you a question.
Oh, wow, it's okay.
Om Shanti Mohini Didi, Om Shanti Brother Eric, Om Shanti Avyakti Parivar. My question is regarding kids, like how to limit screen time for kids, despite of telling them like several times politely, they're still on phone and social media. So
Pop quiz. How much time, this is the kids' answer, should you spend on your social media during a day?
I'm
Half
on
an hour?
YouTube, like I'm on YouTube for 45 minutes.
For 45 minutes. Mom, how much time do you think they should be on the YouTube or social media?
I think to 30 minutes.
30 minutes. All right. So it sounds like that's a pretty close negotiation. What I am hearing is that screen time is damaging. It gives you ideas, it gives you feelings that aren't elevated. And so I'm not going to say that there's a specific number, but maybe a little, how about 33 minutes next week and see how that goes. But there's a lot of research indicating how damaging to self-esteem social media is. And so I would say sometimes Baba has multiples of 2, there are 2 Erics now, but sometimes 5. And so if you spend 5 times in meditation as you do on social media, that might be a way forward to limit the time. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got to balance it out. It's really hard to live in the world without being connected to mom and knowing things. But just like those distractions that you mentioned, if you let those distractions come into your life, you'll be lost. They're very powerful. And so what am I actually using it for? And that's a great question. Am I using it to be entertained? Am I using it because I'm bored? Is it because I want to know what's going on in the world? You know what's going on in the world. The world is changing, and Baba wants you to change in a way that other souls don't have a chance.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Om Shanti. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Nothing from Grandma?
Grandma.
Yes.
Yeah.
So my grandma was wondering, for Brother Eric, how did you come into Gyan?
Sir.
Me, Eric, or the other Eric? Which Eric?
Yeah.
Both. There.
Oh, this is a long question, huh? This is going to be a long, I don't know how to answer it. Very short. Go ahead, Eric, first, maybe.
I think we will keep this for next time.
All right.
Yeah, it's a
Okay.
long question.
Great question.
Yeah, we will
And
have a special session for this. Okay, angels?
very
And
good.
you will interview them again. How is
Excellent.
that? Okay, thank you so much to everyone and all the beautiful chit chat and question and answer. Both Eric Bhai, that was a lottery today. And also to Vrinda and Mishri and their parents. Om Shanti. And now